Welcome to Wandering Why. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book, doesn't it? Howdy, I'm Patrick, and I like to take long wandering walks in the woods. Today we're going to be going to the McDonald-Dunn forest near Corvallis, Oregon, entering through Chip Ross Park. It's been one of my favorite places forever. But first, we are going to get a meal at one of Corvallis's best restaurants. This is one of the only places I've ever been to that actually makes gyros authentically and then lets you load them up as much as you want. It's truly a treasure. That was tasty. Time to drive to the trailhead. All right, I've made it to the trailhead. Gonna enter the forest through here like I've done many times before. We might be getting some light showers today, hopefully not, but today's my day off, so this is going to be the day that I choose for the first hike of the year, so here we go. Starting to get a little bit of light rain, but honestly, it's kind of refreshing. And from what I understand, it's supposed to clear up in a couple hours, so I'm not too worried. Here we are at the top of Timber Hill. It's raining a little bit. This park was originally founded by a guy named Charlie Ross. He had a son, Charlie Ross Jr., who was nicknamed Chip. And unfortunately, he died of cystic fibrosis when he was about 16 years old. And that was in 1963. Anyway, later on in the 70s, they purchased this land out here with the one stipulation that it be named after their son Chip, who was an appreciator of how beautiful Corvallis was. And so this park is dedicated to the memory of him. As a matter of fact, I know one of the descendants of this family personally. Hey Paul, if you're watching, I hope you're doing well. Anyway, the rain's sort of flashing on and off. It's a little hard to tell if we're going to get any sun today at all, but I plan on still making the most out of this day no matter what. Right now we're going to take a secret trail and go disappearing behind the hill deep into the forest into a much cooler and more secluded spot. All right, so now we are finally deep in the woods, behind the hill, right in the pit of it. And we have come to one of my favorite spots ever. This tree has been one of my favorite trees for years. One thing about me is I collect trees, and this is one of my trees. This is always an excellent spot for a nature break. Nice to see you again, old girl. This place has pretty deep personal significance to me too. Me and my high school friends used to come down here and, you know, do what high school kids did. A lot of fun memories in these trees, I'll tell you. One of my friends in particular, he stayed one of my friends after high school for many, many, many years, and I used to come back here with him all the time. And to be honest with you, I miss him very much. Unfortunately, he got himself in some serious trouble, and it wasn't exactly the forgivable kind of trouble either. It was pretty shocking, honestly. I'm not going to go into it, but needless to say, he's not a part of my life anymore. I miss him. It's hard not to think about him wandering through these woods. Anyway, that's enough of that sob story. Let's continue, shall we? Another fun fact is that back in 2007, 2008, 2009, when I was hanging out with my high school friends down here, this trail had not been carved yet. We actually literally used to just climb over the top of the hill and climb through the trees and come hang out down here in privacy. It's interesting seeing this trail get built through what once was our totally secret off-the-grid hideout. Sun's starting to come back out. Going off the trail a little bit now, deep into another pit in the mountain where I know of another special tree. And here it is. This is another one of my very special trees. It's had this staff here for a few years now, so I like to call it the wizard tree. Meet the wizard tree. And here is another fantastic spot for a break. Bye-bye, wizard tree. Here is another one of me and my friend's classic hangout spots. This log and this little embankment right here, which is really comfortable to sit against. Anyway, moving on here. Pretty soon we are going to be leaving Chip Ross Park and actually starting to get into the meat of the McDonald-Dunn forest. And now we are back on the main trail, and it is time to go this way. Vineyard Mountain. This spot always looks pretty neat, even if there's rain clouds. I don't remember if this bridge has a name or not, but it too has always been a pretty fantastic spot to take a break, particularly down there on that log. All right, so now we've officially made it to the edge of the McDonald-Dunn forest. I'm going to enter right over here. Been hiking for roughly about an hour and a half so far, and now we're going to finally start getting really deep into the woods. It's always so beautiful up here, no matter what the weather's like. Lower Horse Trail. Upper Horse Trail. We're making it up the mountain. All right, we're starting to get fairly deep into the woods here. And just over this hill, on this little dirt road, obviously we get a gorgeous view, even though it's still a little rainy. And another fun fact for you, see that house on the hill? That one right there? And you see that little embankment below it? That's a parking lot, and technically it's private property, but students from Crescent Valley High School, including myself, used to come up there in our cars and use it as a popular makeout point, among other things, obviously. Lots of memories there too. This log back here also makes for a pretty great break spot. I didn't discover this spot until many years later. So it's a little bit like looking back at the past here, in a way. Anyway, I do believe it is apple time. It's sad how friends grow apart over time. And what's really hard is having to let people go, you know? It's a painful but necessary step a lot of the time. I do miss my old friends every time I come out here. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming on the hike with me today. We'll get going again here soon. Almost finished with this. I am like almost the only one out here today. And it is lovely. All right, I have made it to the top of the mountain via horse trail. We got a friend caulking up there, as you can hear. And I'm going to continue down around the other side of it over there. But first, I think it's time for another little nature break. It is so peaceful and serene up here, man. It's just what the doctor ordered right now, I'll tell you. It'd honestly be fun to camp up here one day. Maybe set up a tent right here. Look at the stars on a much clearer night than this one. It would be awesome for sure. Anyway, we're going to be continuing around the other side over here. And, well, right now. Continuing down. Been hiking for about 3.5 hours now. Probably gonna have to wrap it up here within an hour to an hour and a half if I want to make sure that I'm going to make it back to my car before dark. But so far, we are trucking along and this forest is beautiful. All right. Well, I do believe we have achieved our goal of getting really deep into these woods, because this little campsite here, this is the farthest in I've ever been. Last time I was here was about 2023. And so I think I'll take one more little nature break here, and then we'll go a little farther. Rain finally appears to totally be done. It's about perfect temperature right now, honestly. So, because I haven't said it yet, happy Easter It is, in fact, Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2025, and it is a grand day to be out in the real house of God, if you ask me. So have you heard the rumors that they're going to impose martial law today? All right. Our remaining daylight is limited, so we're going to go a little bit farther, but I'm not sure exactly how far I'll be able to go. We'll see. Huh. I wonder who that belongs to. Never made it all the way out to this road before. All right. I know this place. I've driven here before, but I've never walked all the way here. New record. You are here. There's Chip Ross from where we came. Now, I wonder if I have time to get to this Vineyard Mountain place. I think I might give it a shot. Vineyard Mountain Trail. Well, looks like this is going to be our final stretch for the day. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? And alas, I have made it to the top of Vineyard Mountain. I know, because this TV antenna basically marks the top here. I think with that, I am going to wrap up my hike today and try to get back to my car before it becomes totally dark. It's about 7:15 right now. Honestly, I'm going to be lucky if I make it back to my car before dark. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks a lot for coming on the hike with me. This was, in fact, the very first hiking video I've ever made. So if you liked it, maybe like, maybe subscribe, and who knows, maybe I'll make a second video one day. Until then, never stop wandering. All right, 7:20. Time to race the sunset.